Now it's time for Lefties Losing It, and let's start with the View's Sunny Hostin. And my thoughts and prayers go out to her because it seems despite her considerable wealth and all the options that affords, Sunny has decided to live in a terribly racist, all-white neighbourhood with racist cops who would harass her son for just jogging.
I have had to be in the position where I have gone to my local police department because I know my son is going to be training for the Junior Olympics, running around the neighborhood in an all-white neighborhood, and I have brought him to the police and said, he belongs to me, this is my son, do not harass him, do not stop him.
Now, Sunny's fears reasonable. Did she really choose to live in a hostile, deeply racist neighbourhood, or is she perhaps a race-obsessed victim playing fantasist? You decide. She does mention white people incessantly, so much so that she blamed racism for Jason Aldean's great song, Try That in a Small Town, doing so well in the charts. I mean, this is super duper loopy even by the View standards.
And unfortunately, this became the #1 song on U.S. iTunes. We have a problem in this country about race, and the biggest problem is we refuse to admit that it exists.
Well, don't you think that a lot of this...
And Sunny has a massive chip on her shoulder when it comes to white women in particular. She loves to put down white women.
Meaning white women own slaves as well. I think that women, white women in particular, want to protect this patriarchy here because it's to their benefit.
White women owning slaves? You know who else owns slaves? Sunny's family.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, you know, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Oh, that was a little bit awkward, wasn't it? Don't you hate it when you get a TV program to do a deep dive into your ancestry and they tell you, a woman obsessed with race, slavery and supposed oppression, that you are the descendant of slave owners, not slaves, slave owners. But let's move on to the most famous and no doubt best paid View co-host, Whoopi Goldberg. And here she is spreading disinformation again, this time about the new White House ballroom.
So Americans, the question is, are you on board with all of this? This is like a cash grab.
Yeah.
And your taxes are probably going to be paying for that...
that ballroom.
I mean, it's kind of kooky.
A kooky? No, it's not kooky, Whoopi. What's kooky is straight out lying about taxpayer funds going into that ballroom that Trump and private donors are paying for, which will be owned by the American people. Whoopi and the rest of the View co-hosts are obsessed by this ballroom. They've talked about it endlessly. Hope you're all ready for a really dumb analogy here and a sing-along.
That would be like me going over to Trump Tower and saying I'm going to build a disco. You know, they've wanted a disco in Trump Tower for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, come on, man. You don't own that building. That is the people's building. You don't own it.
Let's finish.
You don't own it. You cannot take it down.
Oh, please stop singing, please. You got something right though, ladies. He doesn't own it, but he is the president, and that means he has the authority to do precisely what he is doing. Now, let's check on another View lady, this time on a CNN panel, being triggered by facts. Watch Ana Navarro's face as the only sane woman at the table spells out the uncomfortable truth.
Got to jump in here because I feel like we're living in the twilight zone. We're talking about that this was a bad week for America First policy. Trump brokered a ceasefire deal in the Middle East. Hamas put down weapons. The hostages were released. And we're not going to talk about that? That is the biggest foreign policy victory.
Oh, she was swallowing hard there, trying to keep that bile down. And talking about bile, let's go to ABC now, where George Stephanopoulos is fact-checked in the most polite manner possible after claiming that turkey prices are through the roof. Well, Walmart CEO John Furner tells him that they are, in fact, at their lowest price since 2019. who was president back then again, and that their Thanksgiving basket also costs less this year. You can almost see George's little heart breaking here, learning the good news.
And let's talk about Thanksgiving first. Food prices are up, especially turkey. So what are you doing to help customers keep the cost down? This year, we will have the best prices on this basket we've had since the program started. We're down about 25% from last year, down about $14 for the basket. Our turkey prices, George, are all the way back to what they were in 2019 at 97 cents a pound.
You know, someone who needs to lay off the turkey and the stuffing as well is this next lady, if you can call her that. Guess what? She's a teacher. Why do they always seem to be teachers? Like this creature we showed you earlier in the week. And if you want to know why she was doing that, well, some new footage has come to light. It shows a different angle. And it shows the people she was aiming that at were in a vehicle that had a big Charlie Kirk flag. Now, here is Caitlin Bennett talking to some hideous heifer woman who claims that Charlie Kirk was killed for being bad and that perhaps Caitlin should be murdered too.
Whatever his name was?
Charlie Kirk, ma'am?
Yeah, him is horrible. Horrible.
Charlie Kirk is horrible?
Yes, I'm glad he's not here.
You're glad he's dead?
Yes.
Why would you say something like that, ma'am?
Because he was horrible on the campuses, the college campuses. Horrible person.
You know what? I do the exact same thing.
Well,
would you be glad if I would die?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
What, if she would die?
I don't know.
Excuse me?
No, I don't know you, but I didn't know him either. But he was not a good person.
He would go to college campuses.
And
he would go to.
I think he got shot because he wasn't a good person.
There you go. Only bad people are murdered in cold blood. I mean, trust the left to make an art form out of victim blaming and just being indecent, vicious miscreants. And on top of that, they're classic cry bullies. They behave terribly and then they play the victim. Watch that hideous heifer woman play the victim because the woman whose murder she just advocated dared to point her finger at her.
Was promoting was horrible.
What was he promoting?
Right. Yeah, I'm done with you.
What was he promoting, ma'am?
Be done with her. She's pointing her finger in your face. And
Yes, you're a horrible person yourself. And point your finger in my face and coming to this peaceful demonstration. Why would you? And put it in my face.
Yeah, can't you just feel how peaceful and tolerant and loving they all are? You know what? We're probably going to get some complaints about fat shaming, but what type of fat shaming? Because there are different types of fat. Are you small fat or super fat? What's your fat privilege?
I have a question. Can you tell me what category of fat I fit in?
So it's based on your shirt size. If you are a 1 or 2X, you are small fat. 3 to 4X, you are mid fat. 5 to 6X, you are super fat. Is based on what level of privilege you have in the world. So someone in a small fat category may not struggle getting on an airplane, but someone in a mid fat or super fat may not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's where that comes in and like the privilege levels of like what fat means to different people.
Now let's go back to the protests and check the work of this young man. He went around and asked these Delulu fools about human rights. Do they really respect the human rights of all?
Human rights, what do you think about them?
We're in favor of them.
For everybody?
Yes.
How about the unborn? Do you support human rights?
Yes, of course.
For everybody?
Yes, of course.
Even people in the womb?
Well,
Thoughts on human rights?
That's what we're here for.
For everybody, right?
Yes.
Including the unborn?
No.
Everyone has autonomy to not be killed, I think.
Freedom means choice. You have no argument. Stop taking rights away. Get out of here.
Nice work there. And you know what? These protesters aren't all violent, murder-loving monsters. Some of them are just stupid.
Standing with all the cities that are under attack from the misinformation.
All right.
Portland.
Because us dinosaurs want to change, man.
I am protesting. I'm with the No Kings protesters to make sure that the world knows that not all of us are stupid.
I am protesting this sexist, homophobic, genocidal.
And while we're focusing on stupid, let's hear from former First Son and presidential pardon recipient Hunter Biden, who sees something sinister and dangerous about Trump and mocking these ridiculous protests.
So when I see the President of the United States create an AI video wearing a crown and dumping excrement on the heads of American peaceful protesters and, TikTok stars like Harry, I see him basically painting a bullseye.
Wow.
Painting a bullseye on somebody like that.
I hadn't thought of it that way, but.
Yeah, you hadn't thought of it because it's insane. The political violence is coming from the left. As for Hunter claiming that Trump is painting a bullseye on protesters and TikTok stars, as he calls that beta boy, well, remember what your father actually said?
You called your opponent an existential threat on a call a week ago. You said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. There's some dispute about the context, but I think you appreciate that
I didn't say
word.
crosshairs. I was talking about focus on. Look, the truth of the matter was, what I guess I was talking about at the time was there was very little focus on Trump's agenda.
Yeah, the term is bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing.
And let's end with a lefty losing it when he sees a Trump costume and goes nuts. I have to ask again, what is it with the left and violence?
Yo, really? You're gonna attack somebody in a costume? You get off. Get the off. You swear.